morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 20th of October. So, what we got in store this week or today? Let's just have a quick look at a quick update on this. Just there we go. So, Monday, the 20th, then. So, all Chinese data that was released this morning, and we've got Canadian business. Basically nothing today, then. So, quiet day in terms of the financial news coming out. Just looking at this week, we've got Friday. We've got a busy day, but for a busy morning. But up till there, we've got a bit of Canadian inflation coming out there. UK inflation on the Wednesday. God speaking, but really, it's a real quiet old week, isn't it? No US data going on at the moment. Well, not anything being released by the government offices. So yeah, we've got flash services and PMI on Friday, so that's the big day for Friday, and that's it then. Right, cracking on. Let's look at these markets, and I've looked through this morning. There isn't a great deal that I'm interested in at the moment. There might be something that becomes interesting. Looking at the euro dollar first then, and we can see Friday we ended up negative day there. It started pulling out and was looking a little bit more positive. We're sort of going from one way to the other, it seems, at the moment. However, looking at the other, we haven't quite caught the daily pivot today. We've got this pivot swing going on at the moment. I would be looking this morning, I mean, for a continuation back to the downside, I'd be looking at the break of these lows here. They may just find some. We've got to be a bit careful with these particular lows, because they're sitting there with some previous lows and some support from previous highs here. So it could be a bit of a pivotal area, but it's putting a bit of a head and shouldery pattern in there. It's done this basically. I'm looking at this AB and whether it does a sort of C move downwards. So if we break the lows here, there's potential for a continuation to that downside. Okay, the pound looking a bit softer in the short time frame, but again here we did the done a spinning top there on the at the top, bearish sort of signal on Friday. Looking softish at the moment, not massively soft. We're still above the daily, weekly pivot here at this stage, but it does look quite softish. But as I say, wait for the next hour, into the next hour, and see what happens here. It's a bit of a pickle, really. Not really showing a clear hand in this short-term price action, anyway. So really need patience as ever. The US dollar yen. Now I was looking at the gap fill potential on Friday. It looked like it was much more likely to come down and work that way, and we seen on Friday it caught a bounce in the end. But I quite like this price action it's doing at the moment. It's not quite a shooting star, but it's sort of a bit of a reversal bar sort of sitting in there of type. But really, to get back on the short side of things, I say back on the short side, but get into the short side of things here, would be looking at a break maybe of the daily pivot. You could look for something a bit more aggressive and start getting in a bit earlier, and maybe taking a partial position or something a bit earlier and add in on the break of the pivot there, daily pivot. But I mean, it looked pretty solid to the downside up until then. It had been doing quite well. If you look at it back on the 4-hourly time frame, this could just be a retracement. It looks a bit flaggy. We'll see, as I say, just a bit of patience again this morning. I think conservatively I would prefer to see it below its daily pivot there to join the fray. Aussie dollar, now this was weird because it was going the other way to everything else on Friday, and we ended up at a positive bar there on Friday. It was going the other way in the morning. It did come off there for a while, but bounced, and last week, so Friday bounced up there, and there you go. came off for a little bit even on the Friday, but if anything, you do wonder if this is going to continue to the upside, but a bit ugly as it sits at the moment. US dollar CAD not looking the prettiest either. It's losing its way a little bit at the moment, and it's continuing this sort of, it's still in this relatively strong upward trend. On the dailies there, a bit flat last week. On the 4-hourly bars there, completely flat for the whole week. Really did a bit on Monday, and then never followed the other markets. And well, we could get a reaction to the underside of today's pivot with the prior highs around that sort of area. Looks a bit, just trying to see where the, yes, it's looking back here right the way across. It's sort of, it looks a bit pivotal. So we'll see what happens around that area. New Zealand not interested in that at all. It's a mess. US dollar Swissy. This also was moving quite well. If I can get back on it, there we go. Come on. It's not moving now for me. Come on. Here we go. Slowly does it. That's it. Okay, so we were heading southbound quite well. Caught the bid side of things on Friday in the end. A bit of a bounce. We'll see what happens here at the moment. Ugh. Yeah, not looking fantastic. Again, it's one of these, if it breaks back below the pivot, so it's very similar to the yen in that respect. If it breaks back below the daily pivot, we could be seeing a continuation. Otherwise, it takes the highs out here. Well, I say the highs, this morning's highs out yesterday's highs, effective in real terms. If it takes those highs out, well, we could be seeing more dollar strength coming through here. The overall picture, we've got like sort of one bullish bar right the way across at the moment. So bullish for the dollar, that is, bearish for the European currencies, bullish in terms of the Canadian, the yen, and the Swissy here. We'll see what happens. It could be just that one bar, and then it's going to go away. So we'll see. Okay, so there's not a great deal this morning. It's, as I say, patience game here. Gold. Well, gold. Not quite a key reversal bar there, but not a pretty bar for sure. There'll be some traders coming in, probably trying to sell this below its pivot here, but we don't know it's finished yet, and a break back above the daily pivot here could be bullish again. So it's ugly though what it's done here. It's really made a bit of an ugly showing of things. It does this, I mean, it hasn't done it for a while, admittedly, but if you go back, you'll find it gets into this ugly sort of state of play here, and then starts pushing again. So just a bit of patience needed. I mean, I've just shown you one example there, but as I said, back above its daily pivot, it would look a bit more attractive. Right, okay, oil is down $1 today. I'm still looking at this sort of 55 area, which is not that far away now, actually, is it? Could be coming off. If I should have just swung this and left it. It just been in such a horrible state for such a long time. It's probably a little bit nicer now. Saying that, it didn't even go off on Friday. It spent most of its time on Thursday there flat, and then Friday it's a mess. But it does look like we could be seeing a continuation to the downside there. Possibly it's something as I said, I should have probably just taken the swing trade on it and just left it. It's been quite we've been in it for weeks, to be quite honest. We've been moving okay over periods within those weeks. It's always risky. Anyway, equity markets up a little bit in the S&Ps for today at the moment, but still this ugly site. I'm not interested whilst it's like this. It's particularly at this time of the morning on something like the S&Ps, but it is looking a bit more positive. it's got itself into a bit of a range, so you just got to be careful as it comes back to the top side of that. The better markets have been the European markets at times. I say at times because it's literally that. Actually, looking at the FTSE here on Friday, it ended up quite a nice little reversal bar into its monthly pivot. And could be seeing a little bit more. It's up a bit this morning. Could see a bit more upside come from this. It's just literally poking its head through on the shorter time frames here to give another higher low. Looking a bit more positive. I'll see how things open this morning, the cash market. But say if it does run up towards that R1, we could even see the R2 moved. If it's can keep the movement, it's had some reasonable ranges of late. The DAX is back up again at the moment. This has been Friday was just selling off again. Now it's done a similar thing here. We've got the hammer there sitting there on the dailies. Just sort of a bounce off a key level. It's back above its quarterly pivot here. Looked quite bearish on Friday completely. In the morning when I was looking at it, it just, well, where was it? There we go. It was 8 o'clock. It already down to its S3 on that 8 o'clock bar, or by the time we got into 8 o'clock. Just went and went. A bit more positive this morning at the moment. It's been back off its daily pivot here today again. Well, we could be pushing into the R1, maybe more. If we'll see what happens come 8 o'clock. So looking a little bit more positive there. Right, that's pretty much it for me this morning. I wish you a good day's trading, and I will catch you. I'll catch you on tomorrow morning. Bye for now.